Okay, I guess we're live.
Are we starting?
We are starting. Do we need to do warm-ups, Unique New York. Unique New York.
Is it like the
Vocal
Anchorman
warm-ups?
thing?
See, that's what happens, right? Unique New York.
Unique New York.
How
A-
now, brown cow?
Yeah, better.
Oh,
So,
okay.
We're done with that.
I have never done that before. Do you do that every single time when you
No,
start
just
these?
as a joke.
Oh.
Have you ever
No.
seen those, like vocal, like
No.
actors and singers will do vocal exercises
Oh, okay.
and announcers
Yeah.
and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So, this is
Leo
all
was going to sing
stupid.
for you,
Oh.
but
Yeah.
What?
I guess he
No,
changed his mind.
not really. So, welcome to Get Curious, and we have two people special. Lindsey Dykstra is here today, and Caitlin Grant. Paul was not able to be here today, so Caitlin was nice enough.
Yeah. I'm
come in.
Paul today.
Yeah. So, are you good, Dom? All right, that's good. I don't see it here. If you see it pop up here,
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe like step on your foot.
I do it because I want to see if you guys have any questions while we're doing the live stream. By the way, you can go ahead and click them out, and I'll forward them right to Lindsay, and then we'll all just kind of keep an eye on it for the next couple of days in case there's something really interesting you wanted to. There it
There we
is.
are.
And
We're
then,
We're
here.
live.
Good.
Okay.
Awesome. So, Lindsay, what we're going to do today,
Mhm.
first off, is this is kind of your idea. So these are like quick rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Okay.
I love these
And
questions.
so, rather than just drill you, we'll just kind of space
Okay.
them out here, and you can draw one you want. But let's all three of us answer really quick. First thing that comes to your mind.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Ooh. Okay. You want me to pick
And,
first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I gotta go pink because my
You
daughter's
can show
favorite
the camera,
color is
yeah.
pink. Okay. Who, if you were really hungry, would you eat a bug? No.
No.
And I can tell you because I just had to clean my apartment, one of my rentals I own, and we had to spray for cockroaches, and it was the most disgusting thing ever. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
I thought you were going to say no, and I can tell
Would
you that
you?
because I just ate a
Yeah.
bug.
I think there's a stat that says we eat like 7 or 8 spiders. Every
Yes.
Yeah,
year.
they crawl into your nose and your mouth while you're sleeping.
Yeah, so
Oh.
we do eat bugs, but
But I'm not afraid of bugs.
I almost ate a stink bug the other night because it was crawling on my lip.
Oh, gosh.
It was disgusting. Too much.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, rate your driving.
Me? I'm going to say great. I've never had a ticket in my life.
10,
Yes.
perfect driver.
Perfect. If my husband's watching right now, he might tell you different, but I would say I'm a perfect driver.
I'm a 9.
I'm like an 11. I'm a great driver.
Really? Oh, awesome.
I like you even more now.
New York or LA?
LA. It's warm.
New York.
New York.
I like the gritty, dirty city.
Favorite drink?
I'm going to say coffee.
Coffee. I'm coffee.
I was going to say dirty
Starbucks.
martini because I was thinking that we were talking about alcohol.
Have you ever wore socks with sandals?
No.
Yes.
Yes. Birkenstocks and wool socks. Like, I want the 90s just to come back. For sure.
Detroit or Chicago?
Chicago. Go Cubs.
Detroit.
I don't like Chicago or
What?
Detroit.
Well,
But
we're
I've
all
been to
three
Chicago
in
more
different
than
age.
Detroit.
How are we friends?
I know. White or wheat bread?
Wheat.
Wheat.
Gluten-free white.
Okay.
Favorite sport or team?
I'm going to say football and Michigan.
Nice.
I'm supposed to say hockey, but I don't really care about sports.
Because you're married to a Canadian.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
Okay.
Yep, I like football and Michigan as well. So,
Okay. Nobody's commented yet, but
that's a dumb one. So, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, or Harry Potter?
Never seen any.
None of them?
I know. Sorry. Nope. True.
Lord of the Rings.
none? Oh,
None.
that's hard. I would probably have to say Star Wars, but only because I've not seen all of the Lord of the Rings. But I like the ones I saw.
All right.
Okay.
Pool or lake?
Pool.
Lake.
Only Higgins Lake.
Oh, only. Favorite holiday?
4th of July.
Really?
Yes.
That's funny. That's my
Because
least
I
favorite.
love the warmth and, America.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy.
Christmas.
And so many parties.
So many parties.
Christmas.
I'm Christmas. What's your favorite holiday?
I don't really have one. I don't have one.
Hmm.
Do I have to choose one?
Your
I have
birthday?
to answer.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that,
Quick
but I
one.
actually don't really care about my birthday either.
Favorite food?
Thai food.
Pizza.
Mexican, but Thai's my second.
Yeah.
Favorite movie? That's a tough one.
That's hard.
You guys, I'm not cool. I don't really watch much movies, but
It can be a kids movie.
maybe I'll say a kids movie so then I spend time with my kids.
Yeah. I
Your
mean,
favorite
mine
movie?
would probably be Trolls right now because it's
We
the
listen
only thing
we listen to that
watch.
soundtrack all the time at our house. If you have young kids, advice, turn the Troll soundtrack
Yeah.
on and have a dance party.
For sure. That's
So
why
much
I
fun.
love Trolls. Like my 2-year-old has this really funny little
Yeah.
white girl dance.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So last one.
'Kay.
Friends or The Office?
Friends.
Friends, duh.
Yes.
The Office, hands down.
Friends all day.
So that's great. So
All
please
right.
there's Paul. Please comment if you have any questions. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about business.
Okay.
So here's what I know about you. You've been in the business about 5 years.
Well,
Cheat sheet or so. I mean, maybe professionally. Licensed.
so I've been licensed for 5 years, since August of 2013, but I didn't actually sell anything until April of 2015.
Okay.
And there's a whole story on that, but yeah.
So then you've had, I think last year, I think some of the numbers you gave were, you did 8 million? 43
Yeah.
transactions?
8.4. I think it was 8.4.
43 sides,
Yep.
8.4 million.
Yeah, right there. There it
And,
is.
Yep, I know, this is my cheat sheet.
Oh, sorry. I keep moving it, and I'm like,
Look
can't
at
you read, Leo?
And you've also, what's interesting, you've also been involved in a lot of leadership.
Yes.
And really involved not just in your own little business,
Mhm.
creating that kind of stuff, but
Mhm.
with, what is it, the leadership, the GRAR leadership, your
Mhm.
Women Council of Realtors, and
Mhm.
so,
Mhm.
and then- so that's good.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit of your origin story? Like, how did you come to real estate?
Sure.
What did you do before?
Yeah.
Why do you do it?
Mm-hmm. Like, why do I do it still?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess rewind to why I got my license in 2015. It's because I had a full-time job. I traveled a lot. I loved my career. I was moving myself up. I was a regional area supervisor at American Gradings. So I was in charge of the buying and stuff for all of your departments. But I traveled, but I loved flipping houses. I mean, it's just in my blood, right? And so we started flipping houses, and I kind of thought, I grew up where I had some family that was realtors, and I was like, why don't I just get my real estate license? This is I can totally do this.
Yeah.
We built our own house, me and my husband, contracted it all ourselves. So I got my license just to sell my properties.
Right.
That's why there's that gap. And then, long story short is we were pregnant with our first daughter, and we found out she was sick when I was pregnant, and she ended up, yeah, but you know what, everything works out. We knew she was sick. We spent a lot of time in Ann Arbor, and this was back in 2013, and she ended up passing away. So we had a stillborn. So anyone who's went through that, hey, I can relate to it. But I will tell you, that was the reason why when I had Emma, I didn't want to be gone all the time. I didn't want to raise my daughter from FaceTime. It just,
Right.
but it was the hardest thing. I look back, when I quit, I mean, I worked my way up for 7 years at this company. I was very well liked, and that was a hard decision to step back and
Because those people become your second family, too.
Right.
Because you're spending so much
Yeah.
of your life with your
Yeah.
coworkers, investing yourself
So
into
much.
this business.
and you're just well respected. You have, I mean,
Mhm.
people are always you're so young to be doing what you're doing, and I mean, I'm just kind of a go-getter at heart, I think.
Yeah.
So I remember my husband one night said, honey, just do real estate. You are so good at this. And I literally remember being but that's not a career. That's not how can it that's just what I do.
Yeah.
No, I gotta go, I need something, because work drives me. I love work. And well, I took his advice. He might tell you I don't take his advice often, but I took his advice because he's a very smart man, and I ended up just indulging. And that's when, I just figured, hey, listen, I have a little girl here. She was newborn, and I'm I'm gonna make this work.
Yeah.
And I've never looked back.
So you jumped in, just all in. You were
Yes.
this is it, all or nothing.
Yes.
I'm going for it.
That's the only way to do real estate.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
I mean, sure, maybe you can do it part-time, but honestly, it takes faith and trust, and you have to give your all, and you have to just be in it and really invest. This is a field that it can provide you so many opportunities, right? But you have to, like, there's no, like, halving it, right? Like, I don't think you can just be, like, a half-time realtor.
How do you do that then? Do you have any work-life balance? Because one of the motivations was to have availability, yet you have to go full-time.
And
what does your day look like?
Stats are
How does it-
amazing. I think that you'd have to be working like 90 hours a week as a solo agent.
Yeah. You know, though, I will tell you this is, yes, do I work a lot? Definitely do. But I think I'm very good at multitasking. I think you have to be good at multitasking to feel like you have balance. I once heard someone say, balance, you hear balance all the time. It's like, if you took a circle, you split it up, it's all equal.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's true.
Right.
And I'm going to say that there is times in real estate that I just give a lot, right? Like last night, I had a situation where I literally gave hours to my client. And I mean, it was well past 10 o'clock at night. But I did it because I knew that's where I need to be right then and there. Yeah. But so there's times where I'm like full on. I mean, my number one job is to be the best mom I can be, right? Like, but also I think my girls are seeing me, right? Be a working mom.
For sure.
It's a great example. I have a very strong why in my life, like, and I think that's what drives me too. And I think that I pray that they grow up and they just, I don't know, they think they respect me as a mom, right? Like, that they saw that. So to answer your question, I think that this is actually easier than my previous job when I was always gone. Because, yes, there's a lot of, like, scheduling. When you have 2 young kids, like I have a 1 and 4-year-old now. I have a husband who, he's on it, right? Being married to a realtor is a tough job. Yeah. It's not easy. I think we all need to give our spouses some credit once in a while. But we just make it work. Yeah. Apple Calendar.
Yeah. Yes, shared calendars
Everything.
are a lifesaver.
Yes, it's the only way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have another question about business is that I think I saw in the notes that you say all your business comes 100% from referrals. I want to drill down a little bit because I don't know, what do you mean by that? Because what does prospecting look for you? Or if there's like no listings, no pendings, what do you do? Yeah,
I think when I was answering that question, so when I say referrals, I'm just talking, I don't pay for leads. I have never paid for leads. Not that I'm against it. I just, when I started doing, so go back to when I made the decision to quit my job, to do this full in, I mean, it was easy, right? Like, you do the math. Your number one goal is profit, right? So you make more than what you spend. It's simple. Sometimes people complicate it, and so for me, it was, I surrounded myself with as many people who I admired, right? Like go-getters. I was willing to, and honestly, I was just getting out there. And I really believe that this is a business that it's not, hey, can I sell your house? How can I help you? Right? Like, what do you have going on in your life that I can help, that I can be a resource? And I think that a lot of that is how you gain business, is just being out there, being involved. And so I was just trying to get the word out, just organically. Is that what it was like
for you starting out? You were just social butterfly?
Well, that's just me in general, I think, a little bit.
Were you involved in other groups? And
you just, when you first started, it was first letting everyone know, like, this is what I'm doing. This is my, and I think everyone who knew me on a personal level, they kind of knew my drive. They knew Lindsey's a go-getter. It's just.
So you're well-sphered. A lot of people know you. You have networks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have networks. And I just think that also I was lucky because I had a lot of people trust me at first.
Yeah.
Because they liked who I was as a person.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're not going to work with someone if you don't like them. And I think they trusted me. They liked me.
So working with you was a no-brainer, even as a newer agent, because they were just like, Lindsey's the girl. We know her drive. She's honest. She has integrity. She's going to work her butt off for us.
Hopefully they thought that. I hope they thought that.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of agents, when they're newer, part of the challenge is kind of like, well, I know a lot of people, but I don't know that they trust me as a realtor, per se.
And that's hard. So, you have to gain that. In my previous career, I mean, I managed a lot of people, and I was so young. So a lot of times you hear, well, why would someone respect you when you're so young? They're gonna report to you. So I had to learn from a very young age that you have to gain that respect. It's
Right.
nothing in life is just given to you.
For
You
sure.
want something, you got to work for it. You got to work hard.
Yeah.
And honestly, you have to like be able to be, I call it interpersonal savvy. Like everyone has different personalities, right? And
Yeah.
you adapt to their personality.
Yeah, it's like an emotional IQ.
Yes.
You have a high emotional IQ.
I hope.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Like in real estate, how do
Mm-hmm.
you have that emotional IQ, or what do you call it?
Interpersonal savvy?
Interpersonal
I call it
savvy.
interpersonal savvy. Like
like
you're
that.
just
Is that
able.
just natural to you, or do you have like things you learned how to do that? Because I'll meet with people who are starting in real estate,
Mhm.
and they're like, I don't know what to say, and I'm like,
Yeah.
say whatever you want,
Yeah.
be yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And how does that? Do you agree with that, or
I absolutely agree with that. I think I told you earlier before we came on. I didn't really. I don't know. I'm just not a script person. I just
Yeah.
think you go with the
Yeah.
flow. And honestly, people like people who are genuine, right?
Mhm.
And you're
Sure.
just adapting to the conversation. So for a new person, yeah, what do you say to somebody? Well, if you have nothing to say, guess what? You talk about statistics. You know data like nobody else. Because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it doesn't matter if you're dealing with an engineer or you're dealing with someone who is just a total on the DIS assessment high I. They just love people and they just want to talk.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know data. We live in a world of numbers, and so I think if you don't know what to say, at least know the numbers, know what's going on in the market, know the average sale price, know what the neighborhood's doing, because that's a
Yeah.
conversation
that's
starter.
really good
Yeah.
good advice.
And that also shows that you know your stuff.
Yes.
You know, you're not just kind of like
Yes.
throwing random stuff off.
We
the
have to
cuff.
be smarter than
Zillow?
Zillow and the yes. I mean, honestly, I tell people when I work with my clients, I hope that this experience not only is enjoyable for you, but you find that it's extremely educational, because someone needs to feel like I am educating them, that they're trusting me.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a huge purchase,
Yeah.
and that's really important that they understand for themselves the
Yes.
process as well.
Is your business systematized in any way? You said you go
Mhm.
non-script. Do you have like a database? Do you have
Yeah.
mail? Do you have regular stuff
Yes.
where you communicate? Can you share
Yeah.
a little bit about what you do?
Yes. So I do have a coach.
Okay.
I actually hired a coach. For a long time, I heard people talk about coaches, and all I could think was, wow, this sounds expensive. Because I'm a very big, if it doesn't make sense money-wise, I don't do it.
Yeah.
My money, like I told you, I don't spend money on Zillow or leads. My money goes into my clients and my past clients, and hopefully they feel that and they see that. So for a long time, I listened to, and a good podcast for people,
Yeah.
and I still listen to it, is Tim and Julie Harris. And I accidentally kind of came across them a long time ago. And so I listened to this podcast, and like everything, you have to take it with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah.
But they do this podcast every day. You can coach with them. I did not start coaching with them, but
What
I
is
do.
the name of their podcast, you know?
It's Tim and Julie Harris.
Oh, that's just the name of it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you're on like Apple and you go to podcasts, you can just search their name. So anyways, I have one of my best friends in the field
Yeah.
is Brooke Sines, and she has coached for a long time with Verl Workman.
Yep.
So we actually brought Verl into this last
That
year
was an awesome
for a
event.
women council, which obviously I'm on the board, so if anyone wants to know more information, I'd love to talk to you about that. But we brought him in, and he is just genuine. He's great. I love Verl. So I coach with Workman. Now, Workman is all about systems.
Okay.
So if anyone knows a DIS assessment, I'm a total high DI. So I'm a driver, but what happens is sometimes, if I was to tell you my weakness, is sometimes maybe the little details. I'm just like, let's get to the big picture. Let's do it. Let's go. And so they're very good on like having systems in place. Now, I do use them. Sometimes I don't use them to where the degree that some people do.
Right,
but
right.
so
What
yes.
are good systems in place right now that you go?
Yeah.
These are beneficial,
Mhm.
profitable, and I keep doing this.
So to keep in touch with my clients is once a month. They receive just something from Morris Marketing. Honestly, it's simple. Like, I'll be honest, I don't touch it. I put my clients in, and they receive a letter once a month from me.
It's like a forget-me-not.
Kinda,
Hey, I'm
yeah.
still here.
Yeah, exactly. I do MailChimp, which is simple.
Yeah.
They hear from me. Honestly, I'm try to do a couple of events every year
Yeah.
that they come to, and little things like that, I guess. I send out a lot of handwritten cards. I mean, the traditional, like what a lot of people do. But I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing is I just try to connect with them, because we spend so long building this, for 30 or 60 days building this relationship with them, right? And you talk to them constantly.
Yeah.
And then we let it go as realtors. Because we get so busy with the day-to-day stuff, right? Which
The
makes
next deal.
sense. Yeah, the next deal.
Inundated with the next client.
Right.
Their
So it's like,
relationship.
how do you keep that, and that going? And I think it's honestly like just that little touch points here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're staying top of mind. You're showing them that you still are thinking about them,
Yeah.
that they were more than just a dollar sign, that they're actual
Mhm.
people that you care about. And yeah, I think
But
that's
is being
brilliant.
very intentional, right? So
Right.
when I look at my day, when I wake up, granted, like, you have stuff, right, and just regular life happening. But it's when you are at work, like, I've always been when I'm at work,
Mhm.
right? Like, I'm not surfing Facebook, I'm not looking at any of that stuff, like, and it's being very intentional with every single minute you have. And so I will have, like, a list of people just to, even if it's just sending a text message, like, hey, like, I saw it was your birthday. Like,
Mhm.
how did it go? Like, I saw, just little things like that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a lot of times, but it does take, it's easier said than done, right?
Yeah, exactly. You have to carve out the time for it.
I have another question about that, because I know that when you came to 5-star, it was kind of a couple-year conversation,
Yeah.
because you're very deliberate.
Yeah.
And you want to think through it and
Mhm.
consider all the options. And you just mentioned it in your last little statement about that you're very intentional with your time.
Mm-hmm.
Could you, maybe off the top of your head, are there certain activities that you think are time wasters or total waste of money that realtors do? And on the flip side, what do you hold true to?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It was a 2-year conversation moving
Yeah.
5-star, but I love 5-star, even though Paul is not here today.
Yeah.
Wasn't that important?
He
for
wish
him.
he could be.
I know, because we would be talking about
He
the
chimed in, so he's here.
Yeah,
so-
you guys would be talking about the Peloton.
We would be
bike,
talking
which-
about the Peloton bike, which
Yes.
It's probably better that he's not here though, because then all that you guys would talk about is Peloton.
Actually, I know something about that. He
Yes.
has friend requested you on the Peloton.
did I not approve him?
No, you didn't.
Sorry,
Maybe
Paul.
that's why
He's
he's,
a little
not
bent.
here.
That's why.
He's into it, so
Okay.
next time you do that, if
I'm
you
going.
know how to,
I'm going to approve him after this.
All right. You're in, Paul.
You guys can like high
You're
five each
welcome.
other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things that I think that are worth it versus not worth it, like time wise.
Yeah. Or money-wise, because
I have never done paid leads. Okay, I just have not. Personally, I'm not into like chasing people and when they have no value in you, right?
Yeah.
I'm really big on I'm going to value you and I'm going to be a resource, but at the same time, like, we're going to have a relationship. So I have never done that, so I can't really speak to it and say it's not worth it, because some people would. Some people would tell you it's totally worth it. They
Yeah.
spent $10,000 and they made $25,000. Like, it profit-wise, it makes sense. I think the best thing that you can do, truly, like, is, I think, probably just doing some kind of client appreciation. Now, that does take money, right? So
Yeah.
I didn't do that year one, because I told you I was all about how do you
Maximize
Yes.
your monies.
If you looked at for the first 2 years, my expenses, it was
Barely anything.
so little, right?
That's good.
Right, but I also was just trying to be a resource to my clients.